You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here's your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Well, good morning, everybody. I am Glenn the Geek in Ocala, Florida.
And I'm Jamie Jennings in Norman, Oklahoma. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network. It's Monday, December 16th, episode 3584, brought to you by WERM Flooring. Good morning, horse people.
You have found Horses in the Morning on a Monday. You're in for an amazing horsey week of laughter, learning, and fun with Glenn and Jamie.
You know what? This is the last horsey week of laughter and fun that we're going to record in 2024.
Oh my God, that's so, I thought you were saying ever. That's all we're ever going to do. I'm like, I'm fired.
2024. God. This is our last week. It's hard to believe. Hey, good news. Jimmy Hendricks is home. Jennifer has now named her new horse James because he didn't seem like a Jimmy. Kind of doesn't seem like a Jimmy, actually. So we get there we couldn't fit in this guy's driveway because the trailer was too big. So we met him at a trailhead. He hauled the horse over. And this is the first time this horse has been away from its brother. And we were thinking, oh, this is going to be good. 4 years old, never been away from its brother. So get there, horse is hanging out, eating, and has never loaded into a step-up trailer. And our step-up trailer is pretty high. It's probably the highest one I've seen because it has the living quarters and all the pipes and tanks and stuff they put under it. So it's a little higher. And he walked right in. I mean, just walked right in. We get him home. He's all, he was fretted for a day or two, but nothing crazy. And I thought he would be just winning nonstop. You know how they are when they leave their friend
it's like
of
weaning.
Life. Yeah, exactly. And no. Scooter and Nigel, on the other hand, were winning and kind of jerks about it. They've probably been worse than he has.
Were they offended that they have a new brother?
Well, they haven't been closely introduced. We haven't segregated for now. But yesterday, Jennifer thought she'd try the saddle on, see if it fits, and bridle and all that. And while doing that, Scooter decided to test the electric fence, which we had forgot to turn back on from the day before. And got out of his paddock and decided to run all around the farm, came screaming up to James, who apparently handled it all very well, was all pretty chill about it, considering Scooter was running around the farm like a nut, declaring that he was free and never to be caught again.
Well, he channeled his inner Zeus because, like I said, if there was a chink in your armor, Zeus would find it. And I'm pretty sure the electric fence is not on. Let me test it.
Scooter tests it about once a day. I think he just likes being shocked. So we apparently had fixed something the day before and forgot to turn it back on, so he tested. Now, Nigel was running around winning like a nut because Scooter was out and he wasn't, but he wasn't going to test the fence because Nigel's too wimpy for that. But I'll tell you what, the new guy handled it. James handled it quite well, so he's a pretty chill dude. So far, Jennifer's very happy with her purchase, and there's no second thoughts about it yet. So that's good. And he's cob. He's a cob size with everything like standard cob, not even weird cob. So that's kind of nice when you're buying stuff.
You might hear from your wife in today's Equestrian First World Problems.
Uh-oh.
Just saying. You might hear something.
I didn't know that. On another note, our racehorse we own came in second. Caldera came in second.
Do you have the race?
I do not.
God, Glenn, you have one job. It's to get sound.
I do not have the race. I didn't even watch the race, come to think about it. But I did read that he came in second. So that was better than I thought.
Much improved. I read the jockey's notes, and he was like, he just still didn't quite, I'm paraphrasing, didn't quite understand what he was doing. But he has that much talent to leg into second. So I see bright things.
Now, was there 3 horses or was there more than 3 horses?
There was more. But I would like to also announce that there's 2 Facebook Caldera pages. There's the Horse Radio Network Caldera owners page, and then there's the regular Caldera owners page. I hate those people.
Oh, they're in the regular one?
Oh my God. I just don't think armchair jockeys telling everybody how, like, obviously he's not going to make the Derby. Like, oh my God, did you really get into this thinking you were going to have a saddle a Kentucky
20
Derby
horses
winner?
out of 10,000 make the Derby.
Oh my God. I just, like, some of the people I just want to punch. Like, I just really think that doing that, I'm like, shut up.
I'm glad I don't belong to that page then, because it would just frustrate me, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll stick to our happy little page.
Yes, Horse Radio Network pages are all happy all the time.
Well, let's do some daily Whinnies. I forgot to even mention what was on the show. Let's do that first. Auditor Rachel Briggs is going to join us to tell us about her time at the NFR. And Jimmy Hendricks, as I mentioned, is now home. We're also going to do this year's round of elf names. I found a list from years ago that we'll do because you have a bunch of new horses. We'll do some equestrian first world problems. Plus, is he still there? Chad.
No, he walked out.
Okay. In the post show, Jamie's going to talk about going on Chad's boat for the first time. I can't wait to hear it out.
He just whispered down the hall. He's like, I'm right here. He'll be gone by the post show. It'll be fine.
Okay. All right. All right. Now it's time for some daily Whinnies, and we have one birthday.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to Charity Dorn. It's her birthday today. We're hoping you have a spectacular day. And also a big congratulations to Joy, who hosts Retired Racehorse Radio, your former co-host. And Zach, the pie guy, got married.
I love it. Her pictures were so beautiful.
We had no idea. I guess she kept that in the down low. But yeah, she looked spectacular. He looked okay, but she looked spectacular.
Oh my God, she's such a beautiful person anyway.
Yes,
and like to see her in a wedding dress, I'm like, oh God.
I know, she did look stunning. And apparently they had a wonderful day. I was chatting with her on text this morning. So congratulations to both of them. I'm very happy. I've met him in person a couple times. He's a super nice guy and makes great pies. So there's that. But I'm so happy for both of them. Also, on a bit of good news, Auditor Taylor, who was the one that we mentioned was in the ICU and in a coma and all of that, and they weren't sure why, is awake and posting on Facebook on our auditor page. They're still trying to figure out what is wrong with her. She's still in the hospital, but she's lost some of her memory. But she remembers us, so that's good. And,
I posted something underneath because I had seen like she was having trouble remembering her horses and everything. My heart breaks for her. But the fact that I commented underneath like, hi, just made a nice little comment. And yeah, she wrote back to me like, oh yeah. And I was like, oh my God, she remembers us, but not her horses.
I know.
What a weird thing.
I know. No,
maybe she's making it up because she's real nice. That'd be good if she didn't remember us because she'd have years of podcasts she could go back and listen to for the first time again.
She did write on her page she's a little behind on the shows, and I said I'd forgive her this time.
Daily Whitney goes out to Family Stone Racing. That is our friends who have racehorses. Matt, who came to the clinic, he's part of Family Stone Racing, and they've invited Anna and I throughout the season to go to Remington and hang out in their suite and like bet on racehorses. And I've had they have some really nice horses, a very successful year. And I have made a pile of money from their horses and the horses that Anna and I bet. So what I do is I take this, I have this like little kind of money purse wallet thing, and I've been putting my winnings in there. So all of my racing money for the whole season has gone into this one little envelope. So when I go, I don't take out cash. I just spend the cash that I've already, it's free. It's free gambling. So I get there and they had 3 horses running, which is unprecedented. Usually it's like one every couple of weeks, but it just happened to be all on closing night of Remington. So they had a ton of people in the suite. They had a party. They ran all of their horses. And like I said, they've had a very successful year, which in turn means I have had a very successful year. Wasn't quite the same this last time, but the good news is I didn't spend any of my own money. It was all free money. The envelope is empty.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, I blew it all.
That's how the casino gets you.
And there was one horse. I've got an honorable mention to this horse because I am going to find him. His name is Browntown. What a terrible horse name.
That is a terrible name.
And Browntown is like a 17-hand steel gray, amazingly beautiful, absolutely crazy psychopath of a horse. Okay. So Browntown was in the paddock and they're walking him around in his race. And I was like, oh man, he's crazy. Like, oh, he's crazy. I got to bet on him. So I had to go in and place a thing for Browntown. I was like, it took like 3 tries for the jockey to get on. Like I was like, and I looked his records up and he has won a lot of races. He's been very successful, but Browntown today was not going to have it. And they took him out to the starting gate. And we're all outside waiting because this is one of the Family Stone Racing's horses in this race. And they load all the horses up and this horse just absolutely loses it. Boom, goes crazy, breaks the starting gates. They have to take him out. They have to unload all of the horses again. There's like a delay for them to bring out a whole new set of starting gates. And then they go to put him in again and he freaks out again and they scratch him. So,
so what happens to your bet? You just lose it?
No, They give you your money back.
Oh.
And I didn't know what would happen. I was like, oh, well, cool. So I did actually win some money. The horse that never raced.
No, you didn't lose money. You didn't win any. You didn't lose any on that one.
Well, you know what? Potato, okay?
So Anna's streak is over?
I think we were too emotionally connected. Actually, we made some good picks and we did win a couple. But the problem is, and this is just like horse racing BS right here, is it was a stakes night. And so all the big trainers from all around, like Steve Asmussen had a ton of horses. All the big trainers from like the other tracks around the country all shipped their horses to Remington for the stakes races. So you've got all these horses that have been working their butts off at Remington all year. And then you've got these like horses coming in from all the fancy tracks all over the country just to win these races. So I actually won a race, Glenn. I won an exacta. One of the horses was 17-1 and I picked him in second. The horse that won was 1-9.
Which means practically you have to pay him if you win.
You literally lose money at betting on this horse. So I did an exacta and I was like, I hit the exacta. I made $2.80
on an exacta.
On an exacta.
Oh my God.
So yeah, which is when you bet one in first and second. Usually it's a pretty good payout.
Usually it's $50 to $100 on a good day. Yeah.
Yeah, not so much. Not so much today. So I did
win some races. It was an important lesson for Anna to learn. Exactly. That you win sometimes and then you give it all back.
You give it all back. I mean, you know what? It's my money. She didn't care, but But we had a great time, and now all the horses are heading down to Texas somewhere, I think. And then they kind of like, there's a circuit, just like horse shows. You know, there's different circuits that they all go to. And
they all come to Florida and Texas and Arizona in the winter.
Well, and we're Caldera Woods, which is Oaklawn, which is a really fancy place. And a lot of the horses that ran at Remington shipped in from Oaklawn. So it was just not fair. It was not fair.
Hey, I got to ask you, have you put the horses on the new WERM flooring yet in your barn?
Oh, my God. It's so great. It's so nice.
So do you notice them slipping less? Is it sticky? Not
oh,
sticky,
my God. It's like walking on sponges.
Is it really?
You can't even hear the clip clop of their feet. Like, I mean, I didn't realize how stressed I was walking the horses through the barn until I don't have any stress walking through. I'm like, I feel like Duke and I should skip through the barn because he's the one that slipped a couple times because he's in his 30s, you know, like he gets on that pavement. Oh my God, it's so nice. I was like, let's trot through the barn, Duke. It's so nice. It makes a huge, ginormous difference. They get on there and it's just like, I mean, it's like, think about if you go to a local high school where they have one of those rubber tracks.
Oh yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
It's like a rubber track. It's so nice. And I mean, it's 3/4 of an inch thick. It's not just like they just painted it on the concrete. No, it is like thick.
So you're not worried about them digging through it or?
No,
shoes
not
won't be a problem or any of
no.
that.
The thing is, I was like, Friday has shoes, and I was like, Barrett, he cannot come in the barn for 2 more days. Because I was like, no, because he has shoes, but else barefoot. He walks to the barn, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. It's so great. I am so happy with it.
I saw some pictures with the horses, and it looks fantastic. I mean, it looks good.
I had my vet out this weekend, and she was like, this just changes like the whole vibe of the barn. Like it's just softer. Everything is less intense. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm sure this is not the best.
You changed your
for
chi for the better.
I did, and she's that kind of vet too. She's like, it just changed everything. Everything is just like softer and more relaxed around here because like nobody's stressed out about walking down the concrete floor. Y'all, I had a problem.
Well, head on over to wormflooring.com if you want to find a dealer near you to put worm flooring in your barn or your horse trailer. It does the same thing in the horse trailer. I know in the horse trailer you said it made it much quieter too. So
yeah.
So check it out at Worm Flooring. That's we eliminate rubber mats. That's what that stands for. WERM flooring.com. I want to hear about some of your training horses that are in for training right now, but first we have to go holiday-ish. We'll talk about some training horses later on. So I'll post this on our Facebook page. And this one was put out by Ariat years ago, but it's been so long since we've done it, I thought I'd dig this one up. I didn't see any new horses elf name things where you can figure out horses elf names memes. So this is one from, I think, 5 years ago. So we have a new horse here too. So you have a bunch of new horses. So why don't we start with, and this one is you pick your first letter of your horse's name, your star sign, your birthday sign, and your horse's age. So that's how this one works. Why don't we do Miles first?
Oh, okay. So they're all going to be the same. That's the problem with this.
No,
because
not
it's your
necessarily.
name, not the horse's name. Oh, it's the first letter of your horse's name. Okay.
Yeah.
Twinkle Toes McCarrot, the helpful elf.
Is any of that true?
He would like to be Mr. McCarrot. He's so fluffy now. I'm like, can I muzzle him for a round bale? Should I do that? I don't know. It just doesn't seem fair to muzzle a horse and say, I'll put the net over it. But then like he's still I don't know. It's a mess. He is so fluffy right now. It's not even funny.
I like the term fluffy. Well, Jennifer's new horse now, she's named it James. So let's take a look at James. James is Crinkles McSparkle, the helpful elf. Crinkles McSparkle. I kind of like that, actually. Crinkles McSparkle, the helpful elf. All right, pick another one of yours.
Okay, so if I was to do Ace, it'd be Tinsel McCarrot. Yeah, the helpful elf. We have a bunch of young horses. So the choices here for the horse's age, 0 to 2 is the naughty elf. Then you've got the helpful elf. 6 to 8 is the sleepy elf, the angry elf, the excitable elf, the cheeky elf, the hungry elf, the noisy elf, and Duke's age, the grumpy elf.
Scooter would be Snowflake McSparkle, the cheeky elf. You know, that fits, actually. Snowflake McSparkle, the cheeky elf. That kind of fits Scooter all the way around. That really does. Now, what would I be if I were a horse? I would be Rainbow McSparkle, the grumpy elf.
There you
This
go.
time of year, that kind of fits, actually. It really does. Kind of fits.
So some of the choices for the first letter of the horse's name is Tinsel, Sparkle, Glitter, Rainbow, Crinkles, Sugar, Twinkie Toes, Marshmallow, Cracker, Snowflake, Cupcake, and Fantasia.
All right. If Anna was a horse, do you know her birthday? What month?
It was in September. She had her birthday here.
So
I don't know what sign September is. Is it Virgo?
I don't know.
Leo?
What sign is September? All right. What sign is September?
How about let's go with Chad? He would be Sparkle McCutie, the grumpy elf.
That fits sometimes too. That's funny.
Oh, I don't know. Wait till you hear the post show about the boat. All
right, we'll post this so you can.
There's no McCutie in that world. No.
That's funny. We'll post this on our Horses in the Morning page, and you guys can see what your horses are too. I know some of our auditors were asking for this year, and there's a bunch of these out there. You can find them if you just Google them. But before we get to our guest, tell us about one of your training horses. I know that you have one called Cointreau. Was that the one with the problems?
So Cointreau is I like to have some sort of crazy hot mess on this farm. It has been determined. Y'all told me actually that that's kind of who I am. And I'm going to lean in.
Might as well.
I'm going to lean into that because I had Hellraiser raisin here. He went back to the rescue because he was super gentle to ride at this point. So he's now back, but it leaves me with an empty hole to fill of a crazy or high maintenance animal. So there's a horse that came in. I have 3 horses, Okie Tough, who's just dealing with some soundness issues. Then we've got a horse named West Coast Breeze, who is this ginormous gray, gentle, giant angel 4-year-old. If anybody needs a horse, oh my God, come and snap him up. He is so good and fun to ride. He has a very significant old bow, but he even raced on it. He's not unsound. He's totally sound on the bow. My vet actually looked at him and said, sometimes horses like this, you never even know. So that's that horse, West Coast Breeze. And then we've got this horse named Cointreau, who is I said a word to Chad and he's like, I've never heard of that. And I said, he's kind of a poor doer. Does that sound like something I made up?
No, because we talk about a horse being, a good doer, basically. So it's the same thing, right?
I said it and he looked at me sideways and I was like, is that not a word? Like, did I make that up?
I mean, Wendy uses ain't doing right, kind of that ain't doing right horse.
The ADR. Now, he's fine. He's sound and but he's just like, when he came, and this is terrible, the second day he was here, he was laying down in the field and it was so sweet. And so Ginger and I went on, we took pictures with him. We did this little photo shoot with a sleeping horse. He was so cute. And y'all don't comment this on my Facebook page because I posted the picture. Turns out he was colicking. That's why he was laying down so calmly. So I ended up this is why Horse and Hound is amazing. Let me give another plug for if you want to donate holiday money because I spent it. I tried to treat him myself, giving him some electrolytes and giving him all the stuff that I do and Banamine and all that. Nothing really worked. So I took him, I called Nelda and I was like, I got to take him to the hospital. And she's like, okay, do what you think you need to do. I totally trust you. So I took him in and he had a ginormous impaction. So there was nothing that I was going to be able to do to help move that through. He needed the oil and electrolytes until he got a rectal and they were like, yeah, huge impaction.
He's like the sickly kid in elementary school with the big glasses.
Well, that's the thing, Glenn. I mean, and so he's kind of like Raisin was, he doesn't, and now he doesn't want to eat. Like he came, I wrote him the first day and I was like, I was like, he's so nice. So now I've got him on all the stuff that I always talk about that they should be on, but he won't eat. Like he's just not eating. So I'm trying to pump all the stuff in his mouth and now he's starting to hate me. So now he's got like Sparkles McGrumpy face. Like when I walk up with a syringe, he's like, oh God, not again. But I decided because he's just needs some emotional support, I'm going to foster him for a while. I'm like, now I'm going to keep this hot mess. I'm going to take it off your hands. I'll sort it out. It'll be fine. And so Cointreau I'm really working pretty hard on some stuff. And I got a hot tip from a racehorse trainer of something to do to increase the ferocity of their appetite. That is like not supplements or anything.
It's not chocolate cake.
It's not chocolate cake. It's nothing. I will tell you about it. If it works, I'll tell you about it. So I'm trying this too. But yeah, he doesn't really want to eat. He doesn't really want to like engage with you. He's just kind of like a block on a horse. He's an 8-year-old. So he raced a lot and just kind of disconnected. So I feel like if anybody is going to bring him back to the real life, like it'll be me because I'll just love him until I'm loving him till he's sick of me. He's sick of me.
Hanging out with you has me so paranoid because James was rolling I saw him rolling for the first time here at the farm, and I immediately thought, oh God, he's colicking. I know horses roll, or horses roll all the time, but when you see your new horse roll for the first time, you go, is he just rolling, or does he have a problem?
All right, well, here's the trick to that, Glenn. Do you want me here's the ultimate secret to that. If your horse, after it rolls, if it stands up and shakes off,
he did.
It's fine.
He did, but when they're rolling, you're going, is it going to get up or is it going to lay there?
Okay. Try having a 33-year-old horse in your field and having him sleep.
Oh yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Duke!
Yeah, my first pony lived to 40. I had that every day.
Oh my God.
And they sleep more when they're old, so.
Yes, and but he lays in the sun and I'm like, hey, move your ear. If you can hear me. Okay.
And then they lay flat out too. They're not like they're up. They're just flat out.
Flat out. And horses usually lay flat out like 15 minutes a day. He's at like 3 hours. He's like, I'm just sleeping.
Yeah, I feel like that too a lot of the time. I think I'm about his same age, actually.
Yeah, so when he rolls, if he stands up and shakes off, it's almost 100% foolproof. I don't know why I know that, but it's just one of those things that like lives in my head rent free. Wait for the okay, he shook. Okay,
it is funny though when you get a new horse. You get them all the time, so you're used to it. But when we don't get them all the time, right? Normal people don't get them all the time.
Yeah,
and when you get a new horse, you watch.
Reminding me,
you watch
abnormal.
Everything. You're looking at every little thing. Is that normal? Is that normal? Because you don't know what normal is for that horse.
And I mean that's really amazing that you have him in your yard. I mean, think about if you were boarding him and then back to boarding.
We wouldn't have this horse. We wouldn't be able to afford to. We'd be at $2,000 a month if we were boarding 3 horses. We wouldn't be able to afford to. Well, speaking of horses' weight, address your horse's unique weight needs and help optimize their overall well-being with research-proven Purina animal nutrition feeds designed by passionate equine nutritionists. Partner with Purina to nourish your horse to their optimal body condition. Explore weight management resources for your horse today at purinamills.com/feed-finder. purinamills.com/feed-finder. And I wanted to remind you also that Jennifer has a show called Horse Tip Daily, where the nutritionists from Purina have been doing tips over there. But if you have never checked out Horse Tip Daily, go to horsetipdaily.com. Check it out. Find it on your podcast player. There's almost 2,000 episodes talking about anything involving horses, from photography to health. So you can check that out. She does a new episode of that every week, sometimes 2. And it's been going on for I think almost 14 years since this show started. So take a look at that today. Coming up right now, we have Auditor Rachel Briggs. She's been an auditor for quite a while. She's co-owner at Southeastern Cowboy Network, and she was at the NFR, and we thought, why not get a report from her? Why not get a report from one of her own about what the NFR was like this year and how much money did she spend shopping? Rachel, are you home from Vegas?
I am home from Vegas, but man, I tell you what, after spending 7 days on Pacific time, adjusting back to Eastern time is not the easiest thing.
Yeah. And also hearing the dinging in your head from the casino that doesn't go away for like 3 weeks.
Hold on. Let me write these down for Equestrian First World Problems. Okay. Time change after traveling to the NFR. Okay, I'm so sorry for you. Go ahead.
So this wasn't your first time, I assume, at the NFR?
No, this is actually our 6th trip to the National Finals Rodeo.
Ah, okay. So let me ask you first, what's your favorite part of going there? I know you cover it and you guys have a podcast, which we'll mention here, but what's your favorite part of going? Is it just the people, the atmosphere? What is it?
I mean, just all of it. But, it's so much more than the rodeo. And the rodeo itself is simply huge. It's the Super Bowl of rodeo. For anyone that doesn't know what the National Finals Rodeo is, it is, like I said, the Super Bowl of rodeo. It's where the top 15 in each rodeo event, top money earning athletes for each year come, and they compete for 10 consecutive days to be crowned world champion. So it's huge there, but also it's just, being from the East and not always having access to all the things out in the West or like-minded people. That's kind of like the gathering of the whole Western industry. So yeah, people, the shopping, the rodeo, the concerts, there's a lot of free concerts and things like that. Just the whole NFR experience. It's really hard to beat.
And I assume for you, because you're covering it, very tiring, because you're trying to do it all.
Yeah, we do a little bit of work. We still play, and balancing that is pretty tough. You run around Vegas, and that's the hardest thing too. I want to mention about the National Finals Rodeos, there's so much happening. You can't do it all. Even if you're there for all 10 days, you're not going to be able to do all of the things because there is so much going on. And they cater to, I mean, they talk about like 500,000 people coming in over the 10 days into Las Vegas just for the rodeo. So it's kind of crazy, the volume of people that come into town.
You know, it must be funny for somebody who's just going on vacation and they pick that particular week to go on vacation to Vegas. And all of these cowboy hats and cowboy boots are everywhere. It must be strange for somebody coming in who has no relation to it. We were in Vegas once for a conference, and I kept getting in the elevators with these enormous men. They were huge. Found out there was a bricklaying convention there.
Oh my God.
It's like,
well, last time I went to Vegas, there was a Real Housewives convention.
no.
Yes, when my brother and I went and saw you too, we were like, "What is
All the
up with all
Botox?
these plastic women everywhere?"
You probably didn't have that problem with the NFR.
No.
So
No,
what
not
was
quite.
your favorite event this year?
You know, something that, shoot, this is hard to say. I think really just getting to go to the rodeo is really incredible. There's so many watch parties and things like that are really, really fun, but nothing beats getting to be in the Thomas and Mack, and it only seats like 17,000. So not everyone gets to go to the rodeo every night, and rodeo tickets are pretty tough to come by. They can be pretty expensive. We're really fortunate to have pretty good partners and friends that hook us up with tickets at cost tickets, because they can be pretty pricey when they're sold secondhand. But going to the rodeo itself is just really breathtaking.
Do they do all the events every night, or is there different events?
They do all the events except for breakaway and the steer roping. Those are standalone events, and I'm pretty passionate about them hopefully adding breakaway to the main event. And I think there's a pretty big movement happening with the cowgirls that really should be on the stage at the Thomas and Mack during the main rodeo. But no, every night it's bareback, steer wrestling, team roping, calf roping, saddle bronc, barrel, and bull riding.
Wow. Okay. So, do you get back to the barns too? Do you get to hang out with the riders at all?
No, so that's pretty exclusive. I mean, you've got to have pretty tough credentials to get into the back ends of the Thomas and Mack. However, there are lots and lots of opportunities to meet the rodeo athletes, spend time with rodeo athletes at different sponsor booths during the day at Cowboy Christmas. They do a ton of meet and greets and autograph signings, so you can be right in there with the athletes. It's not like you don't have access to them in that way during the day.
And there's some serious, we talk about the press room being full at Rolex / Land Rover / Kentucky, but there's nothing like the press. I mean, mainstream press at the NFR. There's a ton of them there.
Yeah, it's huge. And it's really, that media room is really particular. It's different than other events. We've been really fortunate to get media passes for like the American and stuff like that. But with the NFR, you are like kind of stuck in the press room for a majority of the rodeo. You only get up and get to shoot. You've got cameras and you're wanting to shoot pictures and things like that or video. You're technically not allowed to shoot video, and you're only allowed to shoot some pictures for so many of, I think it's 8 in each event. And then you've got to go back to the press room.
Wow.
So it's pretty strict. It's crazy. I know.
Yeah, because the major networks don't want you, on their territory, basically.
Yeah, no doubt. With the streaming rights and things like that, yeah.
So, did you shop?
Oh, did I shop? Yeah, of course I shop. It's pretty easy to get lost in the sauce there. We see things like Equine Fair and things like that, and it's similar in that regard. I heard a statistic from Las Vegas events that it's nearly 1 million square feet of shopping at Cowboy Christmas alone, and that's just one of the shopping centers.
Wow. So what'd you get? Did you get anything big? Anything cool?
No, well, nothing too crazy. My husband and I are pretty good about like making a list of things that we like want or would like to find. And we kind of try to stay to a budget because you can get so overwhelmed and just go crazy spending. I do a lot of like the turquoise and silver jewelry just because I get to meet the makers there and talk to the makers and feel it and see it and touch it in person. And a lot of tack stuff too. I got some nice Rommel reins and things like that. Got to meet the braiders there. Those are things that I don't necessarily have access to here in East Tennessee. We don't have tack shops that I can just go and get hand braided Rommel reins. So those are some of the things I look forward to. But basically that kind of stuff. Got a couple of pairs of boots and things like that. Nothing crazy though.
And what would you say? So if somebody's looking at going in the future, what advice do you give them for planning and for, should they stay near the arena? Should they stay in, because the arena's out of town. So what do you advise?
So it's a little tough. It kind of depends on your priorities. And my husband and I actually kind of focused on this year because we've learned a lot in the last 6 years the hard way going to the NFR, and there's no one kind of covering this kind of advice. So we actually did a whole YouTube, it's a 4-episode series, but we did a YouTube series breaking down where to stay, daytime activity, nighttime activities, tips and tricks. So if you want to start there, Southeastern Cowboy Network YouTube, that can help you. But it really depends on what your priority is. Is your priority the shopping? Do you want to be close to the Las Vegas Convention Center? Do you want to be able to hop on the Tesla tunnel from Resorts World? Maybe stay there.
Did you do the Tesla tunnel?
Yeah, we did.
And what was that like?
Yeah, it's $5 per person. It is super fast. I cannot wait for them to have more locations. So right now it's just Resorts World to the Las Vegas Convention Center and back. They have the tunnel's built to the west gate, and they did the training on it, according to the driver we had.
Do you get an actual Tesla cars? How does it work?
Yeah. So basically, you walk up, you scan a QR code, you pick how many passengers you have. So you pay on the little thing. You scan your QR codes to get into a car, and the attendant says, go to number 4. So you hop in that Tesla, and I'm telling you, these tunnels are tight, Glenn. They are only
So if you're claustrophobic, don't do it.
I would say if you have some claustrophobia fears, maybe avoid it. But it's really cool. It's quick. You don't have any traffic lights or anything like that. It's very efficient. Like I said, it's $5 per rider. That's one of the cheapest ways to travel through Vegas.
Do they have drivers, or is the car drive itself?
They are drivers. Thank goodness they do have drivers.
Okay, just checking. It sounds like fun. I got to try it when I'm out. Jennifer would never go down there. She would never do that in 100 years.
Oh, no, it's quick, and it's not so bad. You're only like down in the tunnels, and then you come back up and drive around the thing, and then you go back down to the tunnel. It's not so bad. It's not like you're underground the whole time.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just had to hear about that. That's so cool.
No, you're fine.
So where did you stay this time? Did you stay in town, or did you stay out toward the arena?
We actually stayed off the strip at the Rio this time, and it was really great. There was shopping downstairs. I can't say enough how convenient it was because we weren't on the strip, so we weren't battling strip traffic constantly. But if we wanted to Uber over to the strip, it wasn't the end of the world. We found it was pretty much easier and faster to get Ubers also being off the strip. And we talked to a lot of Uber drivers, and some of them simply don't work the strip. So if you're, going from South Point to the Rio, there's a whole different pool of drivers that won't go to the strip.
That's
so that was kind of convenient. Yeah. So, and then another thing we really liked about it was one day we were just kind of tired, but we were able to stay on property and not miss anything because we could go downstairs. There's the Stetson Country Christmas happening there. So we were able to shop. We were able to eat some food, and then they have a really great watch party there. So we were able to still do things and not leave the property.
Yeah, because I imagine traffic is a nightmare in this downtown anyway. It must be a real nightmare during NFR.
Yeah, around rodeo time, Tickets are very expensive, and traffic just gets crazy.
Yeah, more dualies in town than any other place in the world during that week.
That's a fact.
Well, this is great, Rachel. Where can people listen to your podcast? What's it called?
It's called the Arena Record Podcast.
Okay, the Arena Record Podcast.
And you guys can find. Yep, exactly. And we also post them on our YouTube, which is under the Southeastern Cowboy Network YouTube.
Great. Well, we appreciate you listening and joining us today and giving us the heads up on what to look for and what to do. And then I highly recommend everybody watch. I did catch 2 of the videos that you did that you were talking about earlier about how to see it. And I do think that if you're going to spend that kind of money, watch these videos first. Because you're going to spend that kind of money to go, you don't want to blow it, right? You want to get it right. So, and for a lot of people, it's a one-time trip. You're going to do it once in your lifetime. So thanks for putting that together, because you're right. There wasn't a lot out there about how to do it.
Yeah, don't learn things the hard way. We've learned them the hard way enough.
Yeah, you spent the money, so they don't have to. That's right.
No doubt. All
right,
cool,
thanks,
great.
Rachel.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, because you think Lexington is expensive when you go for Rolex. There ain't nothing compared. Vegas has this, it's cheap a lot of times when there's nothing going on, but boy, when there's something going on, it gets expensive.
Oh, man. Yeah, the Formula One was being built when I was there last year for the concert, and we were like, "What is going?" Like, I mean, it's great. It was crazy. It wasn't even time yet, so it was so busy, so busy.
I've been there during times when there's huge conventions. Like, you don't want to go during CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show. That happens in a couple of weeks in January. You don't go because there's 150,000 people to come into that, right? You just can't go that week. So when you're going to Vegas for fun, you really have to research it because you can get screwed.
I know my brother is there now because the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons, are playing in Vegas. So he flew out there with his friend, and he's trying to get me to fly him back and on the little family thing. And like, is there any seats available to come home? Because he could afford to get there. He couldn't afford to go home.
All right, let's talk about Cosequin and what they've got going on. And then we're going to do some equestrian first world problems.
The foundation of a horse's well-being is a strong hoof. That's why Colexiquin, the new daily hoof support supplement from the makers of Cosequin, contains key ingredients such as biotin, amino acids, copper, and zinc to support hoof integrity, quality growth, strength, and durability. What sets Colexiquin apart from other hoof supplements is the inclusion of vitamin E and selenium, which provide antioxidant support and membrane stabilization. Put your best hoof forward with Colexiquin. So learn more, visit colexiquin.com. That is spelled, sorry, I have a cold, and that's really hard to read when you can't breathe through your nose. CALXEQUIN.com.
We're a mess between the two of us. I haven't been allowed to take my allergy medicine for 5 days because I have my testing on Wednesday. So between the two of us, my voice is going. It's just like, we're in good shape.
I look so hot. I have a breathe right strip on right now.
You do?
So sexy. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay, that's a first. You might be the first podcaster ever to be wearing one while they're recording.
I'm like, Chad, can you leave, please? I have to put my nose bridge on.
That's funny.
My anti-snore device.
Horses in the morning, breaking all kinds of records in the podcasting world.
I'm proud of it.
That's funny.
It's time for the weekly look at your equestrian first world problems. This ought to be good.
Well, did they have any problems?
Absolutely, we do. And these are our auditors who every week they share all their drama that they have going on. It's very sad. But I post on Sundays, I kind of late last night, I kind of forgot. Sundays I post on the auditors Facebook page, share with us your equestrian first world problems. And they do. So if you want to participate in this segment, you need to become an auditor. And Glenn, how do they do that?
Just go to horseradionetwork.com. Scroll down the middle of the page, you'll see the auditor banner and click on that for as little as $3 a month. We use Patreon as the service where you subscribe. So you can subscribe over there and donate what you'd like. That money gets split amongst the Horse Radio Network hosts. So you're supporting Jamie directly by doing that.
Yay!
As well.
Love it.
All right. What problems do they have, including my wife's apparently?
Oh, yeah, she's in here too. So we are going to start with... Let's start with Shelly. My horse got a brand new shed to live in, but I haven't been able to see it because I've been sick all weekend. Girl, I feel you. And she has a picture of the shed far down the driveway in the snow. It's so pretty.
Of sick people right now between COVID and all the colds going around. It's like everybody I know is sick.
Yeah, it's true. Chantel says, my master's degree is taking up all of my writing time. Yeah, that's
priorities.
Your fault.
Your priorities are all wrong, apparently.
I would agree. Anna says, I keep tripping over all of my kids' Breyer horses. Poor babies. Marina said, I wanted to order matching halters from the horse education company for all my ponies, but they didn't have every size in turquoise.
That's a special color.
Now, this next one is a picture of a woman who is sitting on a absolutely adorable Norwegian fjord, and she's ponying another absolutely adorable Norwegian fjord. And it says, it's from Tracy, and she says, my filly is doing so nicely in training. But now I have to make decisions about which horse I'm going to take to my riding lessons.
Okay, that's the epitome of a question.
Epitome.
First
Oh my
right
God,
there.
I have like two perfect
Of course,
angel babies.
I don't know how you tell fjords apart anyway. They all look alike. So
I don't know how she does either because these suckers look exactly alike.
they all look like bookends. I don't know how they know which one you're riding. So
I know.
hate mail goes to Jennifer at Horse Radio Network.
Now this one is really sad, actually. This is Mel. And she says, after figuring out the lameness and getting all cleared to ride, I now have to wait until my new calf tattoo heals before I can ride my horse.
That's the first one. That's the first one of those.
The calf tattoo. We've had some others with tattoos that have had to wait, but yes, this is very sad. Inside of the calf, what were you thinking? Obviously, it's going to miss some days. Ashley says, and I've done this before, but you did it to yourself. She says, I bought new lead ropes during the Black Friday sales, but they resemble snakes when left on the ground. And I scared the hell out of myself today when I printed. Dude, it's like black and silver, like braided. I mean, I thought it was a picture of a snake on the picture that she posted.
Yeah.
It legit looks
you
like
did that to yourself.
Yeah, that's why all my lead ropes, if you see in any picture, they're all purple. Because I'm like, what's the least scary color that nobody's going to want to steal?
Jennifer puts a tarp over the hay at night because it's under an overhang, but it's outside and it gets very dewy here. So she puts a tarp over it at night. And when I have to go out and feed in the morning, sometimes it's not light out yet. I got to tell you, I take that tarp and very carefully, I kick it first. I beat on it with a stick first because I just know one of these days there's a snake under there waiting.
Everything go away. Yeah. I remember I went to grab some hay bales and like a serpent, like the Loch Ness monster, dove through the hay. And I was like, oh!
And we've all seen the snakes in our hayloft. In Pennsylvania, we'd see snakes occasionally in the hayloft, and that's just freaky because you never want to go up and feed your horse again.
I mean, if I was a snake, that's where I would live.
And we've come across snake skins in the bales before that got baled up when they were baling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
For sure.
Let's all right, now I'm creeped out.
Okay, we do it. Hey, we'll just end with your wife. How about that? This is so, Jennifer, I feel your pain, but not really because I'm kind of pissed. She says, I stopped at 4 of our 8 local tack shops and I could not find the exact girth I was looking for my new horse. I add that in.
And my question first real problem is I was along and had to go to 4 tack shops in a row.
Oh, you get husband points for that.
By the way, all 8 of those are within 4 miles of each other.
Shut up.
No, I'm not kidding.
That's not fair.
I'm not kidding. They're all right there.
Does she have a dressage saddle or is it a jump saddle?
It's a all-purpose, but it's long billeted.
Oh,
yeah. It's a long billeted.
Tell her.
Yeah.
Tell her if it's a dressage size, the correct neck girth is ridiculous. I love it so much. It's awesome.
Correct.
But
what is it?
Correct Connect is the website. And they have a dressage girth, and it has solved so many of my problems. And they're not a paid sponsor, so I'll just say it this once. But oh my God, I love it so much. It's so great.
I will tell her which girth to buy. Jamie has the girth you're supposed to buy. So good because she was shopping this morning for it. So I'll give that to her. It's very
make
timely.
Sure you should buy it for her because it's expensive.
Oh.
Perfect Christmas present, husband points.
Yeah, she spent enough money this week. Well, Equestrian First World Problems has been brought to you by Tough One. From the trailer to the show arena, the barn to the trails, from the snowy season to the fly season, Tough One has horse owners covered. Tough One offers a wide variety of tack, horseware, and stable equipment, all at an affordable price to fit every horse owner's budget. Their products are designed with your horse's comfort and safety in mind, whether you're gearing up for a competition, everyday riding, or preparing for unpredictable weather. Tough One is there to make sure you and your horse are ready for anything. Check out their full range of essential products and ride with confidence knowing Tough One has you covered from head to hoof. You can find them and more. Sorry about that. You can find these and more at your favorite local tack shop or online at toughone.com. And I think almost every tack shop in the world carries Tough One, but you can find that at toughone.com as well. And that's the number 1. Well, we have a full week of shows planned for you today, and then Jamie and I are going to do one Monday for you next week, and then we're off for the holidays. Well, Ashley's been busy putting a lot of best ofs together for you, so I think we've planned some fun best ofs. We kind of pieced together particular one about Jamie's adventures. So,
oh no,
yeah, there's one all about Jamie, and then we have some other ones that she has put together. She's been working hard on that, so thank you, Ashley, for that. But we'll be here all week this week. We have a quarter horse for you tomorrow. Equine Affair is off this month. Well, we have one more really bad ads. Get your ads in, and one more weird news. Where do they send those to for Wednesday?
Weird news at horseradionetwork.com. We got fancy and got its own email because they get so many and it's so fun and I love it. And remember, those really dirty ones that are gross or dirty are not going to get read on the show. But just know that I wholesale appreciate getting them. So don't ever edit. Just send it.
Well, auditors, hang on. We're going to find out how Jamie made out on her first time in Chad's boat. Jamie loves boats. She just loves boats
so
and the water. She really does.
So fun. Yeah. So fun.
I'm going to end on a meme I saw this morning. Lisa Wysocki posted this. You need only two tools in life. WD-40 and duct tape. If it doesn't move and should, use WD-40. If it moves and shouldn't, use duct tape.
Amen, brother. Spade neuter gals.